Lyndie Greenwood, a well-known actress from Sleepy Hollow and Hallmark movies, shocked everyone when she revealed something deeply personal. You won't believe it, but she had been silently fighting breast cancer for months. Fans had noticed her absence from social media, but no one expected this heartbreaking news. Then, on March 17th, she finally spoke out. She posted an emotional message on Instagram, explaining why she had been away. She said, "Hey there, friends. I haven't posted in a while because I've been dealing with some real-life stuff. The big C is a doozy. It's complicated and ever-changing." Those words hit hard. Everyone started wondering, how long had she been going through this? Why did she choose to stay silent for so long? But here is the shocking part. She wasn't just announcing her diagnosis, she was about to take everyone on her journey. Most celebrities choose to keep such struggles private, but Lyndie did the opposite. She created a Substack blog where she promised to share every detail of her experience. Let me tell you, this was not something anyone expected. She admitted that she struggled with the idea of posting about it, saying, "Cancer is big and deep, and social media at best scratches surfaces. I have a burning desire to be authentic in this time of my life, or rather, it stings when I try to be anything else." This was not just about cancer. This was about her truth, her raw emotions, and her fight against something that had already changed her life forever. But what makes this story different? It wasn't just the diagnosis. It was when and how it happened. On September 12th, 2024, during a film project in Canada, doctors found a mass in her right breast. That moment changed everything. She had to make a choice, leave everything behind and rush into treatment, or stay and finish her work. The craziest part? She stayed. Despite knowing the battle ahead, she decided to push through, calling it one of the most intense and rewarding experiences of my life. Imagine that, carrying the weight of such a devastating diagnosis while continuing to work as if nothing had happened. But destiny took an unexpected turn. When she finally returned home, she was thrown into a whirlwind of doctor's appointments, tests, and tough decisions. She hoped for a simple solution, but things got worse. She had to go through a double mastectomy, a life-changing surgery that left her with physical and emotional scars. But here is where it gets even more heartbreaking. Despite the surgery, she still had to go through chemotherapy. She described her struggle, saying, "Unfortunately, things haven't really been as easy-peasy as we had all hoped. And here we are, closing out February with a bald head and many scars." Chemotherapy was not just about losing hair, it was a battle against her own body. Lyndie had to go through 4 rounds of chemo, each 3 weeks apart, and every session drained her. The process was brutal. She felt weak, exhausted, and at times completely defeated. But she didn't let that stop her from sharing her journey. She wanted people to see the reality, not just the filtered version that social media often shows. She described the experience in her blog, saying, "Some days I feel strong. Other days I barely recognize myself. This is the biggest thing I have ever gone through, and I don't want to hide it." But here's where it gets interesting. Despite everything, Lyndie refused to be just a patient. While undergoing treatment, she still tried to live as normally as possible. She wrote about how she would go out with friends, take long walks, and even find humor in her situation. "There are moments when I look in the mirror, bald and all, and just laugh. Who knew this would be my reality?" she shared. But deep down, she knew this journey was far from over. What makes this story even more powerful is the support she received. The entertainment industry can be a cold place, but not for Lyndie. The moment she shared her diagnosis, Hollywood responded with love. Celebrities like Felicia Day, Brittany Ishibashi, and Jill Marie Jones flooded her comments with messages of strength and healing. Felicia Day wrote, "Oh my God, sending you all the love and healing energy I can. I'm so sorry you're going through this." Jill Marie Jones, who starred in Girlfriends, added, "Love you, sis, sending you strength and healing energy." This wave of love showed that Lyndie was not alone. But here's the craziest part. While many were focused on her personal battle, Lyndie was focused on something bigger. She started using her platform to talk about breast cancer awareness, especially for Black women. She shared facts that many people didn't know, like how Black women are 40% more likely to die from breast cancer than white women, even though they have a slightly lower overall rate of the disease. Why? Because they are often diagnosed at younger ages and with more aggressive forms of cancer. And that wasn't the only issue. She also talked about how many Black women don't get diagnosed early enough due to lack of access to healthcare. Destiny took another unexpected turn when she realized how powerful her voice was becoming. What started as a personal blog about her journey was now a movement. She encouraged women to get screened early, ask questions, and fight for their health. She even spoke about how she wished she had done certain tests earlier, saying, "If I could go back in time, I would have taken those screenings more seriously. Early detection saves lives." As Lyndie's battle with cancer continued, so did her determination to fight, not just for herself, but for others going through the same struggle. But here is where it gets even more heartbreaking. The reality of chemotherapy was worse than she had imagined. She had hoped for a smooth process, but the side effects hit her hard. The nausea, the unbearable fatigue, the aching bones, it all became too much. She described the pain as something she had never felt before. Some nights, I would just lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering how I would get through the next day. But here's the shocking part. Despite how awful she felt, she still managed to keep a smile on her face for her loved ones. She didn't want them to see how much she was truly suffering. She wrote, "I joke around, I make it seem like I've got this under control, but the truth is, I don't. I just don't want my family and friends to worry too much." That's the thing about Lyndie. She was always strong for others, even when she needed support the most. And speaking of support, the messages from her fans were overwhelming. People from all over the world started sharing their own cancer stories, thanking her for being so open. Some even said that because of her, they finally made an appointment for a breast cancer screening. This was where Lyndie realized her story wasn't just about her anymore. It was bigger than she had imagined. If even one person gets checked because of my story, then this journey will have meant something, she wrote. But what makes this story different? Lyndie didn't just talk about the physical struggles. She also opened up about the mental and emotional toll cancer had on her. She admitted that some days she felt like giving up. The hardest part? Losing her sense of identity. She had spent years in Hollywood, where looks and image mattered so much, and now she barely recognized herself. "I look in the mirror and see someone completely different. No hair, scars everywhere. It's like I lost a part of myself." But destiny took another unexpected turn. Instead of letting cancer define her, she decided to embrace her new reality. She shared pictures of herself, bald, tired, but still smiling. She wanted to show the world that beauty wasn't just about appearance. And let me tell you, this was powerful. Her bravery inspired thousands of women who were also struggling with their changing bodies. She proved that even in the darkest times, there is strength in vulnerability. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Lyndie's story was no longer just about her personal journey. She was now on a mission to make sure other women didn't go through what she did. She started working with breast cancer awareness organizations, speaking at events, and encouraging women to advocate for their own health. She reminded people that early detection saves lives and urged them to listen to their bodies. She wasn't just a survivor. She was becoming a voice for change. As Lyndie's journey continued, she found herself reflecting on everything she had been through, the diagnosis, the treatments, the physical and emotional battles. But here's the craziest part. Despite everything, she still remained hopeful. She knew the worst of the battle wasn't over, but she could finally see the finish line. In one of her most emotional updates, she wrote, "My prognosis is still very good. I can see the end of this race faintly in the distance, and I imagine you all there, hands out, ready for high fives." These words showed just how strong she was, even after everything she had endured. But here is where it gets even more heartwarming. Her openness brought her closer to her fans and fellow survivors in a way she never expected. People who had never even heard of Lyndie before were now following her journey, inspired by her courage. Many shared their own cancer battles, and a beautiful community began to form around her. She was no longer just an actress. She had become a symbol of resilience. But what makes this story different? It wasn't just about survival. Lyndie wanted to help others survive too. She started encouraging women, especially Black women, to educate themselves about breast cancer, get regular screenings, and never ignore any symptoms. She shared statistics, resources, and personal advice, making sure that her story was more than just a personal battle. It was a lesson for everyone. Destiny had taken an unexpected turn once again. Lyndie, who had once been known for playing strong fictional characters, had now become an even stronger person in real life. She had faced her biggest fear, gone through some of the toughest moments of her life, and still managed to come out with hope. But here's the most powerful part. Her journey isn't over. She still has a long road ahead with continued treatments and recovery. But one thing is clear, she is not backing down. Lyndie Greenwood has proven that even in the darkest of times, there is light. And with the love and support of her fans, friends, and family, she is stepping into the future with strength, grace, and an unbreakable spirit. Her story is a reminder that life can change in an instant, but it's how we face those changes that define us. And if Lyndie Greenwood has shown us anything, it's that even in the face of uncertainty and pain, there is always a way to keep moving forward. Her fight continues, but so does her hope.